Good. All right. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everybody.
Welcome to Talmud class. All right. We left today's Daf Chaftes in the second Sbal Metzio, Perek Metzios. We left off the bottom of Chaftes Medbeis, towards the bottom, 3 lines from the bottom last word. A person finds a lost object, and it is something that does not eat. It does not, it's not worth its value to eat, or to keep feeding it and letting it work. And it's too big of a hassle. It's too expensive. It's too costly to go ahead and watch it. To tell about it, and away we go. And so it says, you go over here and you sell it and you put the money aside. So the Gemara says, because the pasuk says you should return to him. So hey, right? In other words, you should go ahead and see. It says, okay, let's see what this is worth. It's worth $100. So I don't think the owner will be too happy if I have this animal for a year and it'll cost the amount I leased out. It's and I have to pay to feed it. It's gonna only be worth half its value. So you have to go so see how he wants it, return to him, and see what the value is now, and make sure that it won't go down. And also the Azur Tanagol, right? In other words, that it won't be basically cost calves to feed a calf, and so on and so forth, and the donkeys. Therefore, make sure that if it's going to go ahead and decrease as you hold the animal over time, then it's better off to go ahead and sell it.
Yeah, there's also aging. Like if the animal will get older, it could just be
right.
aging.
Well, but we soon saw at some point, right? There's 30 days, 3 months, 12 months is the max of where you got to sit around and keep watching it. But but if you have an animal and you're watching it, and you can lease out the animal, for a nice profit, so then you can lease out the animal. It covers, and it covers the what's it called? It covers the expenses of the cost of the upkeep.
Wow, Rabbi.
All right, let's go see this case. Thank you, Tzaddik. All right, $2 bottom line. So but then what do you do with the money? Now you sell the item. You got the money. All right, here's the cash. Now what can I do with the cash? Can I put it in my wallet, and then when the guy comes back, I just Venmo him, or do I got to go ahead and put the money in the safe? So so go back in the mission. Rabbi Tarfon says you could use it. Therefore, if you lose it, you're chayiv b'achriyasa, right? You're chayiv because you're like someone who's using it. And Rabbi Kiva says lo yishtamish ben, we can't use it at all. Therefore, you're like that's what the Mishnah said. Therefore, you're like a shemer chinam, and you'd be pater. So the Gemara says, "Ad kan le pligi." Top of the page. Elevated shtamish behen. When I was going to use it, when you have the right to use it. About lo mishtamish. It sounds like over here that if you have no right to use it, i.e., right, no, they're only arguing. But if everyone has said if you have no right to use it, like like Rabbi Akiva, imavdu pater, then you'd be pater because you're like a shemer chinam. So Goran says, later to you, to have it to you to the Rav Yosef. Let's say it's a kashan of Yosef. Why would Rav Yosef say? Ditamar, Shemer Aveda, when it comes to watching a lost object. Rabba Amar Keshemer Chinam. You're Shemer Chinam, right? I'm watching a lost object. It's at my house. I'm not doing anything. I don't get paid for it. So I'm a free watchman. Therefore, I'm not getting reimbursed for everything. So therefore, I'm putter from certain things. Rav Yosef Omar Keshemer Sachar. You have benefit. And a person with benefit is like a paid watchman. What's the benefit there? So he calls it Pruta Rav Yosef, right? It's a famous, it's the case. We see a couple times throughout Shas that Pruta Rav Yosef is basically if I'm being Isaac b'mitzvah, I'm pater in a mitzvah. If I'm Isaac in Hashavas Aveda, then I'm pater from going ahead and feeding the poor person or giving out money. So technically, this mitzvah I'm doing now, this watching this item, the Shemer Aveda, is I benefit from it. Since I benefit from it, says Rav Yosef, I'm a shemer sachar. Since I'm a shemer sachar, I should be chayiv. But why does over there our Mishnah say that? In other words, but Kuliyama seems to say that you'd be pater if you weren't allowed to go ahead and use it. So I'm a Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef said, but Gneva Veda, no. When it comes to Gneva, if it was stolen or if it was lost, the Kuliyama pligi the chayiv. Everyone holds your chayiv in this case. Just like I said, everyone holds in your chayiv in this case, and as proof of Yosef is valid. And therefore, if while you're watching the object, if it gets lost or anything, that you're chayiv. So keep pligi. One of the arguing the einsin the shayel. They're arguing about basically whether now the person, since you're using the baby, perhaps you're allowed to use the money, you're like a borrower. If you're a borrower, so if I borrow something, even if an einus happens, something which is beyond my control, I'm still chayiv, right? Never in the first place. If I borrow your bike, Alan, and then it gets, someone, house, gets, or the bike gets hit by lightning and it gets destroyed, so I can say, I'm so sorry. I'm chayiv because I'm a shayl. So that's what you hear. Maybe it could be on the Rabbi Tarfon Saver Shirley. He can go ahead and use it, and therefore Shirley you can use it for Havi Shayl, and therefore he is considered to be a borrower. If he's a borrower, I would be chayiv and einsin. Rabbi Kiva Saver Lo Shirley Rabbanon but Gavai you can't go ahead and use it. Hilkach therefore Lo Yavi Shayl. You're not considered to be a borrower alayu. For it, so the Gemara says Ihachi Lafichach Dam Rabbi Kiva Lamali. I don't understand how to read the Mishnah. In other words, why does Rabbi Kiva say that you're not allowed to use it? Therefore, you're putter in a case of, therefore you're not chayiv b'achar yosef. What's going on there? So now the Gemara explain. Tamar b'shlom b'gnei aveda. If it was everything works okay, like our original understanding of our Mishnah, in other words, that like Rabbi Yosef. In other words, b'shlom b'gnei aveda who deplegi the rabbanon, and in other words, the machlokes between Rabbi Kiva and Rabbi Tarfon is in the case of where it is stolen or lost. Rabbi Kiva. That's why Rabbi Kiva says, "Lo yishtamish b'hem." You can't go ahead and use it. Lefichach. Therefore, imavdu and a chayv b'chayis, and you're not chayv anything, right? In that case, and therefore he would disagree with Rabbi Yosef. And you just say, "Look, you're a shemer chinam, and therefore you're not chayv." It's like, shemer sacher. Avi, maybe you think like it's shemer sacher. Avi, because Rabbi Yosef, like Rabbi Yosef, b'gnei aveda mechayv. Therefore, b'chayv b'gnei aveda. Therefore, since he's not allowed to use it, he's not considered to be a shomer sacher, and he argues Rabbi Yosef, and he's pater from Gnei Aveda. However, and therefore, now that you say that he can't go ahead and use it, right? He's not considered to be a shomer sacher, and therefore he's not chayiv in a big Gnei Aveda. Ella, but if you're going to say like Rabbi Yosef, Gnei Aveda, the kuliyam alei pligi the chayiv. Everyone says that this person watching a lost object is considered to be a shomer sacher, a paid watcher, and therefore, if you're a paid watcher and I pay you to watch something, you are obligated in a case of Gnei Aveda. So keep pligi be'eins in the shayel. If they're arguing in the case of, and now therefore the only machlokes over here is whether he's considered a bower or not, and that would depend on whether he's allowed to use it. My leficha. What does it mean leficha? Therefore, according to Rabbi Kiva, right? Why would it say over there leficha that he's pater from ba'insin? So hachi mibayle lemas. This is how it should have said. Should have said Rabbi Kiva imer lo yishtamish b'hem. You can't go ahead and use it. V'ani yadina, and therefore I would know the kevan the lo yishtamish b'hem. Right. Therefore, since he's not allowed to use it, lav shayel havi. He's not considered to be a shayel. Ve'eino chai b'achrayis. He's not chai b'achrayis. In other words, I should have said since he's not allowed to use it, right? Therefore, he's not considered to be a borrower. He's only considered to be a shomer sacher, and therefore he be pater in einsin, right? Because he's not a shayel. He's a shomer sacher. So Gemara says, therefore the Rabbi Kiva Lamali. So why does it say the Rabbi Kiva Lamali? So it says no. Because it says Lafichach earlier in the Mishnah, it wanted to be the same. Says Rabbi Tarfon, you could use it, therefore you're chayiv, and therefore it says Rabbi Kiva, you can't use it. Lafichach, will just use the same words, therefore you're pater. Gemara says, so Gemara says, so I lefichach Rabbi Tarfon Lami. So why does it say lefichach Rabbi Tarfon? So Haki Kamar came the Shali Rabbanan L'Shtimushe. Since the Rabbanan permitted you to go ahead and use the object, Begavayu, come on, the Bishtavish Begavayu Dami. Therefore, it's like you're considered to be someone who's using it. You're like a shayel, and therefore, since you're a bower, therefore v'chayiv b'achrayis. Therefore, you're chayiv with achrayis. So Gemara says. This all works fine and well, but v'ha'avdu katani. Our Mishnah is not talking about einsin. Our Mishnah seems to say if it was avdu, if it was lost, which is not einsin. V'avdu katani. So my answer is no. Kid Rabba, like Rabba says, Dama Rabba, Nignavu, when it says nignavu, it's talking about listim is it's talking about armed robbers, and avdu when it's lost means shetavas vinasaviyam, that it was lost at sea, i.e. an einus. In other words, yes, it is talking about einsin, and avdu doesn't mean lost, like an object was lost, right? Not due to negligence, rather it's referring to even a complete einus. And Amar Yehuda Mashmuel, look right time. Look, it's like a retirement that if one is he's watching a Veda that and he sells it, he's allowed to go ahead and use the money like Rabbi Tarfa. So Biyad Rechava Havile Hanu Zuzid Diyasne. So in the hands of Rechava, he was in charge of the estate of these certain Yusaimim orphans. So us the commander of Yosef, he said to them, "Ma'olish Timush Begavayu, can I go ahead and use the money?" So how come Rabbi Yehuda Mashmuel? Look, Rabbi Tarfa, you can use the money like Rabbi Tarfa, right? A person who's watching the estate of orphans, he is like a person watching a lost object, and therefore in this case, we would say that he's like watching a lost object, and therefore he's allowed to go ahead and use it, like Rabbi Tarfon says. So it wasn't said the name Rav Huna lo shano ella, but the Aveda. Right? Only we're talking about money for a lost object, because he was tarech, right? He had to go ahead and watch it for a while, then he had to sell it. About most Aveda, but money of an Aveda, in other words, the money of the estate of the kids of the assignment that you signed up for. The light takvu, all right. However, that you were not matriach for, right? Low. Right, you would not be vahani kamois aveda. I mean, therefore, it's not like considered like a mos aveda. Samalei, if that's the case, so he said zil leishavi shavli dashi lecha, and it says if that's the case, then then you have to, then you're not allowed to go ahead and use the money of the assignment because you're not considered to be matriach on behalf of them for it. Fine, nine Mishnah. Mishnah says Chav Testament Beis around the 20% down, second white line. So matzah, what? 29b1, yes. So Zok the Mishnah. So matzah svar. If a person finds a sefer, now sefer there was like similar to our Nevi'im or Ksuvim, right? They roll. So matzah svar. It's good to go ahead and read from it once every 30 days. It's good. It's healthy for a sefer to be open once in a while. Air it out. If he made a daily Christ, if he doesn't know how to go ahead and read, read from it, then you just go ahead and roll the entire thing so it gets its air. Go ahead and learn from the first time. Why? Because a person who learns from the first time, he spends lots of time on pages, and it could get worn out. And you should also not read with another person, right? If it's two people, once again, they could dwell on some of the pages and overuse it. Matzah kasus, he finds clothing. So then, in such a case, what does he do? Menara, you should go ahead and shake it out. Once every 30 days, shake it out. It's healthy for the garment, gets all the dust. And spread it out as needed, but don't spread it out as like a decoration for your house. So something either silver or copper. They used to go ahead and normally, put in the ground for safekeeping. So nevertheless, you go ahead and use it. It's good for it. But don't overuse it. But gold and glass, don't go ahead and use those because those will get damaged. The glass will break, and therefore, or the gold will get stuff. Until Elio comes, those you can't use. However, in another case, if a person finds a box or a sack, or something which is really beneath this person to go ahead and pick up, such a person does not have to go ahead and demean himself. He's a chashuv person to go ahead and pick up this sack or box. Zok the Gemara. Omar Shmuel. One who goes ahead and finds tefillin in the shuk. So Sham Damehan, go ahead and estimate how much it's worth. But then you go ahead and basically you can go ahead and use it. In other words, now there's this value, and you get Menichem Lialter. You can go ahead and put it on right away. So Gemara says Mesi Ravina. So we ask Rakash. So it says Matzah Svarim Mehan Echa B'Shleishim. Our Mishnah says you go ahead and you read it once every 30 days. V'im Eina Yodeli, because you don't know how to read. Then Gailon, go ahead and roll it. So Gailon in, yes, you can roll it. So Sham Damehan Menichem Lo. But it doesn't say anywhere over there, right, that you can go ahead and assess it, right, and therefore and you can't go ahead and just sell it right away. So why buy the tefillin? You go ahead, right, and what's it called, and sell it and put the money aside. But over here, in the case of the Sefer Torah, you can't go ahead and sell it and get rid of it right away. So Rabbi tefillin kibar chavu mishkach. So tefillin, those are very easy to sell and buy and sell. So therefore, it's an immediate. You snap your fingers. Okay, I'll go ahead and get the money. And then if the guy find the guy, I can go ahead and buy it back. Or I have the money readily available. However, mishkach svarim, that's mishkach shchicha. However, svarim not shchicha. But svarim, those are not common. So therefore, the scrolls are more difficult to go ahead and buy and sell. And therefore. Just hold on to it as opposed to trying to, because you won't be able to go ahead and buy new scrolls if the person who lost the object returns. So Tana Rabbanan Hashel Sefer Torah Mechaver, one goes ahead and borrows a Sefer Torah from his friend Hareze Lo Yishaleno. You should not go ahead and lend it out to other people. So if I borrow something from somebody, I should not go ahead and lend it out. Paiska, you should open up the karibo and you should go ahead and read from it. On the condition that you don't open up the scroll and read it for the first time. In other words, you for your own first time, because then you'll dwell on pages too long and might come and damage it. Don't read with others. So too, if I go ahead and I give a Sefer Torah to somebody else, to Ruvain for safekeeping, right? So he should go ahead and he should go ahead and roll it up every 12 months. You go ahead, you open up and read it, and and if it was for him, possible that he opened it up, then it's usher. Then it's usher to go ahead. We'll have to explain what that means. It's usher for him to go ahead and do it if he wants to, open it up for his, for the purpose of reading. And Sumchos Samer b'chodesh, it's shleishim yom. So b'chodesh shleishim yom. If a new sefer, then once every 30 days you open up. B'yesh, an older one, shneim esar chodesh, is 12 months. No, it's always 12 months. So now let's explain this brayso. Omar Mar. A person goes ahead and borrows Sefer Torah from his friend, he should not go ahead and lend it out to somebody else. So my area Sefer Torah. Why do you say Sefer Torah? Afilu kol milit. Even all types of anything you borrow, I cannot go ahead and lend out. I have no permission. Afilu kol milit nami. Kanshan Rabbi over here. Rabbi taught a person who's borrowing something cannot go ahead and lend it out to somebody else. And also a person who rents something from somebody cannot go ahead and rent out to another party. So Gemara says, why did teach us halach again? So Gemara says, no, Sefer Torah is strictly. No, you need the case of Sefer Torah, they can't lend it out. So Malaz Mojiv said, have a mitzvah. Maybe a person wants his Sefer Torah to be in the hands of others, Kamash Balon. Now when it comes to a scroll, which is potentially could be damaged. A person goes ahead and he opens up and he reads from it. So so it says Pshita. I said, if he opens it, he's allowed to read from it. It's obvious. What are the reason why a person borrowed the Sefer Torah if he wasn't going to go ahead and open it up and read for it, right? So of course he could, if he's a person that borrows allowed to open up and read it. Why would he buy from it? So the Gemara says, no, Sefer we need for the Sefer. You go ahead and borrow as long as you don't go ahead and read it for the first time, because then you might go ahead and damage it. One goes ahead and deposits Sefer Torah to his friend to go ahead and wash him. You can go ahead and roll it every 12 days. If he opens it, you can go ahead and read from it. So Gemara says, first of all, right, why is he allowed to go ahead and read it? Right? He only wanted him to watch. Why is he starting to use it? If it says over there, if it was for him, that purpose is pasuk aser. Then if then he wants to open it, then it's aser. But you just said that if you open it up with you can go ahead and read from it. So the Gemara says, no, hachikara. This is what the Bryce means say. Inkshu gailo. Really, he's watching the item. He's not there to use it. Then it says you should go ahead and roll it, once in a while in order to go ahead and keep the scroll healthy. So Imshu Goilo, when he's going ahead and rolling it, then he's allowed to go ahead and open it then with Karibo, and he's allowed to go ahead and read from it then. Mutter. And Imbishilo, Pascal, but however, if he just opened it not really for the health of the scroll, but for he himself, then it's usher. Then it's going ahead usher because he wasn't borrowing it. He was supposed to be a shaymer. And Simcha Samer. The Chodesh Shleishim Yom, B'Chodesh, or with a new one, Same mistake earlier. Right? So it says with a new one, a new scroll, then once every 30 days. But Yashin, an older one, then it is for 12 months. And it's always 12 months. That was the first opinion we saw. The Tanakama, the Brisa says 12 months. And over here he's saying, and then the middle opinion was depends on old or new. And then the third opinion, Rabbi Yaakov, was the same as the first. It was 12 months. So no, whether it's new or old is 30 days. In other words, so the Tanakama said it was once every 12 months. Then the next one says Simcha says if it's new, then it's 30 days. If it's old, then it's once every 12 months. And the final opinion is Yaakov says no, once every 30 days. You shouldn't go ahead and read for the first time or read it with somebody else because then you might dwell on a page too long and might come to damage it. It says person who borrows something, you should go ahead and read for the parsha and then reread it again. Also, don't go ahead if he's watching it for somebody. You shouldn't go ahead and read from it and do the targum. Also, once again, he might dwell on too long. If you shouldn't go ahead and open it more than 3 pages. 3 people should not read from it. And 1 page. Just sounds like over there, but if 2 people, you could. Didn't we just say 2 people you can't? If it's one in Yachad, right? So then it's even 2 is a crowd, right? If it's different in Yadim, then you while you're looking at that part, you're looking over there, and I'm looking at a different part. So therefore, you can do it even 3. And then we said Matzaksus. You go ahead and shake. If you find a garment, you go ahead and shake it out once every 30 days. So that to go ahead and shake it out is good for it. Uman so a person has his own tailor in his house, then then he can go ahead and shake out his clothes every day. Why? Because you're going to shake out your clothes, you're going to damage it, and then your tailor will fix it. So what do you see over here? Shaking something out is not good for the garment. Right? So I said no. If you do it every day, indeed, yes, that is bad for the garment. Then you're going to need your tailor. However, if you go ahead and shake out the clothing once every 30 days, then it is good for it. One is one person shaking out does not cause damage, but if it's 2 people shaking out, then it cause damage. Then you need your tailor or ibai sema like kasha habayada habachutra. One's with the hand, it doesn't shake it out as hard. But it was a chutra with a stick that will be more damaging. Go get your tailor or ibai sema like kasha habadidma habakisna. One is wool. And the other one is linen. So I think the linen one will get damaged. And Amar Rabbi Yechon, so case of the charshin, v'lo. So he says v'lo case of the paishin. Right, it's better to go ahead and have a cup of a drink from a machshefa, right, from the sorcerer, over a cup of lukewarm water that was left out. It's not good, huh? The paishin, water is left out. So we're only talking in a metallic cup. In a metal cup, don't take lukewarm water that's been sitting out. But you could better to go ahead and take it from a source of but if it's, let's say, an earthenware, then less than is no issue with the water. And even with the metal, so when it wasn't already boiled, it's less than if it was already boiled, then there's no issue. He didn't put anything in there, right? Then petel or whatever, you're going to go ahead and mix with your water. If you go ahead and mix something else in it, then there is no issue. And finally, 4 lines in the bottom. A person he was left a large amount of money. The right to love then wants to go ahead and lose it quickly. What should he do? Yilbash bigde pishtin, go ahead and wear linen clothing. Those are expensive and get worn out quickly. And use a lot of glasses, right? Because they break and get destroyed. And go ahead and hire workers and do not sit on top of them and wash them. What are you talking about? That is Bakista Ramisa. I guess that's a certain type of Roman fabric. All very expensive and would wear out pretty quickly. Special white glass, that's the flimsiest, that will break the easiest. And these are problem in the high workers violation and don't set tapas or targima, bitore, Dinafish Psadaya. We're talking about, let's say, people who drive oxen, because those people, I guess, can cause great loss, a damaging, and also, they're expensive. All right, we'll stop here. 2 dots. Shkoyach, 6 Abara, Bez Hashem.